So we're definitely in the fall mode here. So it is time to change out some of the wreaths. I want to make a new wreath for my front door. And I'm also going to reshare a couple of my very fast selling wreaths that I put in my retail booth. No, I'm not making tamales, but I am using corn husk because it's a little bit early to buy dried corn husk around here. So yes, in today's video, we are using corn husks. So let me get this open up, and you get a lot in these packages, a lot. But actually, if you flip it around, it does make like that perfect petal shape. Now I'm going to be making a sunflower out of those. I need the cardboard backing on this. So I'm going to go ahead and just trace it and cut it out. I feel like hot gluing onto here, finding a flat wreath, a foam wreath. I like the flatness of this, especially like if you are like me, you have a door, and then my husband just hung screen doors, and so now my space in between my two doors of hanging a wreath is a little bit on the shallow side, so I don't want a great big foam wreath to push in on it and smush my wreath. So you know how I tried to find the piece of cardboard that I had that was the thinnest. I'm always saving these when I get some kind of a package. I'm like, oh, these flat ones, whether I need to use it to ship packages myself or I use it for crafting. They just really come in handy. Yes, I'm at that age where I look at a cardboard box and think, I could reuse that. That's a good box. That's a good piece of cardboard. Get my handy dandy hot glue gun out. Lots of extra glue sticks. And then I think I'm going to squash it a little bit. I don't think I want it to be like that full. So I think I'm going to squash. But I'm going to start all the way out. And I've never made one of these before because, you know, that's how I do this channel. I figure out all the errors of my ways, and then you guys can do the craft and not have to worry about making any mistakes. I love my Ryobi glue gun. I got it as a Christmas present one year from Chris. But I do realize it runs hot, so you have to turn it on and off, or sometimes your glue just runs off. So yeah, they flatten out. Well, if I don't like that crinkle on that one. I have plenty. We'll just use it, right? I'm trying to have them kind of all be, I mean, I know Mother Nature doesn't make all the petals completely perfect either, but we'll see what we can do. Whew, I don't know. I might be making a very big wreath, but go big or go home, all right? So now for our next layer, trying to make sure that I only have one. We're going to go in between and then start layering it. It's nice because that's the wire wreath, kind of gives you a guide. And it's okay. I want it to come down slightly. And they're so easy to glue. I mean, the biggest is just waiting for the glue to dry. The glue to dry, you know, not really dry. Well, yeah, dry. Cool off. Really worried about it being this perfect. Okay, now I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to go down a notch. Put plenty of glue on there. Find a husk that I'm happy about. Some of them are thick, so sometimes I think I have more. Sometimes I'm like, do I have more than I need on there? And then I'm just going to keep layering it. So I'm working on my last round, and whatever goes into the center goes into the center. Because I might do one more layer, even though this only had 4 wire layers. I need something to glue my center onto. Now I'm just kind of gluing some into the center we are actually going to be using pine cones to make the center of the sunflower. But I don't want you to see the cardboard, of course. So I'm just gluing some extra ones in this center part. Definitely a 1 pound. It doesn't tell you how many's in there, but a 1 pound corn husk is plenty for a 12-inch wreath. Well, the wire is 12 inches. The wreath is huge, but I love it. Like I said, go big or go home if we're going to do this. We want a statement, please, because this is going on my front door, and you want people to see it. Okay, now for pine cones. I need to figure out how to cut a pine cone. I don't know. Like, do you just go in? Do we just... I just need the flower part of the pine cone. I don't know. I've never really taken apart a pine cone. So, they said, wear gloves, wire nips, pruning scissors, whatever, but I still think you waste a lot of your pine cone. And it really still does not cut that easy. So honestly, I have this little pack that came, they're ornaments of pine cones, and they're already short. So if I just cut off the middle, that'll make it look like a flower. Oh my goodness. I definitely did not think that it was, I guess I have never cut a pine cone before to make it look like a flower petal. So that's, and you don't want it to be like sticking up too far. So just hard to get in there to cut it without squishing everybody. The things we do for the designs we want. I'm going to be tortured with this, and somebody's going to tell me the easiest way known to mankind to do this. Oh. Whew, okay, I think that took longer than gluing all those on. So, the husk on. So I'm just going to start gluing my pine cones on and see how many more I might need to do. So yeah, the pine cones are going to be our center. And we're just going to kind of build it around. I really had no idea that it was that hard to break a pine cone. Okay, I might have whined through the whole process of that, but it looks beautiful. It's well worth it. So I need to flip it over. Probably should have done that before I got the middle on there. And I need to put a hanging system on. So I'm just going to take some of the wire, cut off a piece. I'm sure there's somewhere I can poke it through. Like I said, probably should have done that earlier. It'd be all right. We'll figure it out. I don't want to just stick it into the cardboard. I want to make sure that it's going over the wire too. Need is a wreath form. I bought these 2 wreath forms. They is a set off Amazon. They are 12 inches. Some zip ties, a whole bunch of zip ties. Something to use to cut your bandanas. I just happen to have some quilting cutting supplies. So now we need to start to cut our bandanas. Luckily, they were kind of folded into the quarter section. I need a bigger mat. Now your cuts don't have to necessarily be perfect, but I'm going to use a rotary cutter, and we're going to quarter this. So now we have 4/4. So now that I have one done, of course, I'm going to do multiples. So I'm going to get these all cut up before we start attaching them to the wreath. So one thing I want to do, and this is optional, I don't want my bandanas to droop. So I'm just using some spray stiffener on them before, some parchment paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and iron it dry just so that my bandanas don't droop. You know, the fabric, it's bandana. These are definitely a thinner craft bandana. So I just want to make sure that and depending on what kind of bandanas you find, they might not be so thin and they may not droop. So that just makes it a little bit, see how it's a little bit stiffer now? I've got all 3 colors cut and zip ties. That's a lot of zip ties. You can buy a lot on Amazon. I'm going to start off at the second one down, and I'm going to get some of these started so that I don't have to worry about like trying to do it while I'm holding them. So we're just going to start to zip them together. And I'm just guesstimating how full it's going to be. So we're just going to get them around there. So I ended up having 24 zip ties on the second row down. Now we're going to fold this in a triangle, and then we are going to gather it up. And that would always takes you a moment to get started, right? So we got it all gathered. Make sure that everybody's there. And now I'm going to pull my zip tie tight. Again, fold it like a triangle. And then we're going to start in that middle section and start to gather it. Until we all have it gathered, and then I'm going to play with it a little bit before I zip tie it. Now we are working on the front of the wreath. Your insert is going to hide all this. So I'm trying to make sure that I have those kind of level with each other, and then we'll pull that zip tie tight. Now that we have it all this one's done, I'm going to go back through and cut my extras off the zip ties. Now for my next row, what I'm going to do is I want to go in the center of the 2 and put my zip ties. So 2 of the yellow, I'm going down 1 row, so the second row from the bottom in, and I'm putting another zip tie in between the yellow bandanas. Time to start folding our next color, which I wanted to layer the colors. I loved the colors. You could actually buy a whole pack of just the yellow, but that's the one thing I like about some of the sunflowers, how they are variegated in their colors. So gather it up, fluff my little tail, and then get it in that ziplet tie. I'm going to pull it down just a little bit more. Just do whatever's pleasing to your eye, because they'll be all the same size if I leave it the tail, and I don't really want to do that. So get it in that little hole, pull it down so it's not covering up the yellow. And then tie it in. Okay, I've got all my orange on. Oh my gosh, look how full and fun this wreath is. So back through to snip all those little zip ties off. Okay, so now it's start to put zip ties in, but I'm going to go one by one. I want to see how full adding the very dark burnt orange color is going to make it. Don't know if I'm going to need all 24 halves or not, but the same thing, I want to pull it down, make sure I have it the way that I want it. I want it to be shorter than my yellow, shorter than my mid-color orange, and then pull that zip tie tight. I'm gonna go in, find that. Because it's so nice and tight in here right now, so. I feel like if I try to put my zip ties in now, I'll just lose them. Like, where's that at? So. Oh, that is gorgeous. I love those colors together. So now instead of cutting it off, I'm going to tuck my little pieces together and make a flat surface because I do need to do a center for the flower. But I'm just going to start tucking this down. Nice little tight package there. To make my insert, I have this round piece of cardboard that came from something. My insert would be 9 inches. So I'm making little dashes at the 4.5 mark, which would be close to the 9 inches. And as I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, just something to put in that middle. I'm going to cut out some, I just have this upholstery batting, quilting batting, whichever. I'm just trying to use it up, so I want a little bit of padding on this. I just have this little piece of fabric that always comes on my, it comes on when I buy rolls of foam upholstery cushioning. So yeah, that's what I'm going to pre-do here first before putting what I'm going to be doing with it. And I think hot glue will be fine just to hold it down. Okay, so I have my little circle, little padded. Now I'm actually going to use a piece of, I've had this laying around, so when I was looking for fabric, you know, I think I'm just going to use some of this because as is, it didn't really sell. And I think it'll just be kind of fun to have that wording. So I'm just going to figure out which area I need to cut. Yeah, I guess it's not going all the way through. I don't want it to go all the way through. The back doesn't have to be pretty because it's going against the napkin or the bandanas anyway. Cute, very cute. So I do need to cut off the excess here. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of hot glue. Okay, so I want to blend this a little bit more. It's really cool, but I'm going to take some of the aging wax. I don't think it's going to take too much of the lettering off. I'm just going to go in gingerly. And just dirty it up a bit. Finally found one of the wreaths that I wanted at Goodwill, $3.29. So I'm not sure how many of the pots I'm going to use. If I want more than this, then I can probably steal from my stash. So, and then we just need some of the twine. I'm going to do a generous amount until I figure out what length I want. And what I was looking for is ones that had holes in them so we could do this. Because we are going to be tying them on. And I'll cut off my extra. And I'm kind of going to go at different angles. It is a nice, tight, weaved. Oh, this back over. See, that way I can get, that guy's too big to fit in there. Now to finish this up, Dollar Tree. I'm pretty sure this was the Dollar Tree. I've had this for a while. Just some moss. So we're going to stick some in there. Taking some of the moss here and there will be just fine. So hot gluing it in. I'm really probably concentrating on the string a little bit more than the terracotta pot. And then I squish it and then I'll get into the pot. Is that not pretty? Oh, loving it. So I've got to fill in, then I can fill in, if I have plenty left, I can fill in on the wreath itself too. It's actually going a lot farther than I thought it was going to go, and I have quite a few packages, so I'm just going to go ahead and add it in where I think it should be while I'm working it around. I'm going to finish this up by putting a hanger, wherever I can get an hanger, through this. I just cut a piece of wire. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Yes, wreaths. I just love a wreath on a cupboard door, in your, on front of your cabinets, in a space. It can be brought forward, and you can do what it's meant for, to put it on your front door, wherever you see a wreath. Oh my goodness, these fall wreaths are just absolutely amazing. Now the terracotta one you can use all year long, but I'm a terracotta girl. I am a terracotta girl, so I had to reshare that one with you. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.